Hey guys, so today I'm coming with you at some tips and tricks on One in the Chamber, the game at the Hive, and these tips and tricks will really help you up your game and get better kills and basically just get better at your skill on One in the Chamber. So the first thing you need to do is go on Escape, you click on the Options button there, and then where it says FOV, you need to put that level up higher. Now if you put it all the way up, it becomes Quake Pro, and as you can see, you have a whole better view, you can see way more. Or, you could put it down a little bit if you want to get used to this. Now the point of this is that you're able to see more. If you can see more, then you can see more people around you and more of your enemy. So if there's a stray sniper somewhere on your side, far away, you can see them if you have it all the way up on Quake Pro. You'll be able to see them and you'll know where they are so you can dodge their bullets or whatever. This is also extremely helpful in sword fights. When you go in, charge at them, attack them, you're able to see where they were and you can quickly turn around and keep on attacking them. Whereas for them, since their screen is more zoomed in, they'll be attacked and then they don't know where you've gone, so they have to look around and try to find you, and then immediately you'll attack them because you know where they are. So you get a better view of where things are, and that's just a huge advantage. If you want to get used to this, then you can just put down the level a little bit for one game, just have it halfway in that bar, and then the next game you can up it all the way. Okay, so the next tip I have for you is don't fully ready your bow. So when you're in a bow fight and your opponent has a bow with an arrow, and you've got an arrow, and you're both aiming at each other, you need to fire faster than your opponent does. So, don't pull your bow back all the way. This is unnecessary power. And remember, in One in the Chamber, if the arrow hits someone, it doesn't matter how much power it has, it will immediately kill them. So, if you're at close range, you just need to ready it for a few milliseconds and then fire. So, as you can see from these clips, I did that and I killed them before they could kill me. And you can see, if you fully ready your bow, that's not going to be very helpful. Only in long range if you're trying to snipe someone. So that's very helpful, and that's one of the main things that will keep you alive, if you fire faster than your opponent does. Especially if there's another person there, or if someone's charging at you, you need to be able to fire before they can hit you. This is very helpful when you're in low health and you've got an arrow and you need to and your opponent doesn't, and he's coming to attack you. You need to be able to fire it before he can come and hit you. Alright, so the next big thing here is dodging. If you're firing an arrow, you need to immediately dodge your opponent's arrow. So if you and your opponent are both aiming at each other, both readying your bows, and you're about to fire, when you let go of firing that bow and your arrow goes right into your opponent, you need to be able to immediately jump out of the way, because you need to be thinking, if the opponent shot the bow immediately at the same time that you did, then you'd be dead if you still were standing in the same place. So after you fire the bow, as you can see from these clips, I immediately jumped out of the way or just moved out of the way. Now another important thing is, especially in those big maps like Autumn, you need to be able to run and dodge arrows, because it's so big that there is probably going to be snipers all over trying to shoot you. And it's really annoying when you're running and you get shot from nowhere. So, while you're running, you need to be able to move from side to side or be kind of unpredictable if your opponents are trying to shoot you. This is very helpful when there's an opponent that has an arrow and is aiming at you and you don't. You need to charge them before they fire, and so you need to make sure they miss that arrow. So you would run towards them, but you move side to side, maybe jump a little bit, and it'd be really hard for them to shoot you. Then, once they lose their bullet, miss, then you can come and charge at them, have a head start. Now, a giant helpful tip is jump, get critical hits, and block. Now, I personally don't block a lot. Blocking is right-click with your shield, by the way. That only saves you half a heart, but that could be very helpful in a fight if you're both giving each other the same amount of hits. But the main thing I do is when you're hitting someone, you need to jump up and down. Especially in One in the Chamber, where you've got unlimited hunger, and it doesn't matter about your hunger. You want to jump up and down and land those critical hits. Now, critical hits with a sword means that you're getting extra damage on them, which means you're going to damage them more than they damage you. You especially want to do this when you're running up to someone. You want to jump and then hit down at them. This means that, first of all, they won't see you when you jump. You'll be on top of them, so they have to look up to try to attack you. This means that they're probably wasting their time, and you're probably already landed before they look up. This also means you land critical hits, and you have a distinct advantage when you're attacking them, because they already have damage on them, whereas you don't. You've got full health. Now, another thing to remember is before you enter the game, look for this. It says Top Kills Mode. Now, that's the only mode that I've ever seen it on. Now, Top Kill Mode means that whoever gets the most kills at the end wins. It's on the leaderboard at the right-hand side of your screen. Now, if it's some different mode, I've never seen that before, but maybe the Hive, people who made the Hive, are going to add that in. You don't know. So you want to check that, and if it changes, then maybe the game type will be completely different. Maybe it could be that the last one standing wins. Something like that. Now, a great thing to do when you're firing your bow is shoot before they get there. Now, this sounds kind of weird, but what you want to do is you want to aim to where you think they're going to go. If someone's charging you and is moving left and right, trying to dodge your arrows, and if they move at left, and you need to fire before they get there. So it basically is you fire, because that arrow takes time before they get to them. You fire, they're moving, and then the arrow hits their body while that moves in the direction. You don't fire where they are, because then they move before you shoot them. That's a very big waste of your arrow. So as you can see from these clips, I kind of did that, and I got some really good kills. Now, a small tip that I kind of figured out is that don't keep checking the leaderboards. Now, I did that a lot, and me checking the leaderboards kind of distracted me. It made me less aware of the game, and it wasn't very helpful towards myself. Maybe it's different for you. Maybe when you look towards the leaderboards, it gives you a more positive feeling or something, and it helps you get kills because then you realize how high you are in the game. You're feeling good, and you can get more kills. But for me, I just don't want to look at the leaderboards because it distracts me, and it's just not going to help me during the game. Now, another thing to remember is look towards fights. When you're trying to fire at people with your bow, you want to fire at those fights. You want to fight at where the middle of the conflict is. So when people are fighting, they would charge into a certain area, attack each other, then they'd be fired back, because of the knockback on the sword. Then they'd come back to the certain area to try to attack each other. You want to fire your bow at the middle, in between those people fighting, and so that when they come and charge each other, and your arrows flying towards them, they'll all charge each other, and then you get that kill, because they all come into the certain area to try to hit each other, and then you can fire there because they're all in the same area, and it's like a big wall that they're making, where if you move your arrow a little bit, if you move your bow where you're firing a little bit to the side, you'll still get a kill because there's so many people in that fighting area. Now, a great thing to think about when you're going into a fight is don't charge. If they're two fully healed people and they're coming towards each other and they're fighting, when they just started fighting, you don't want to charge in there. What you want to do is you want to let those two people fight, and then the survivor, you want to go and attack, because he's going to have extremely low health, and you're going to have a very high chance of killing him. Now, if it's a group of 3, I wouldn't go in there in the middle of the fight and try to join them, because that would really be something not very helpful. Maybe if you're skilled and you might be able to kill the person that has the least amount of health and then kill the next person, but it's better that you just kill the survivor. It's easier, and it's more safe if you want to keep alive, because you've got limited lives here. Now, during fights, you also need to remember only fight one person. You want to have a specific target within these fights. So if you're in a big group fight, you want to think of one person to attack, because if you're attacking everyone, it's a very low chance that you'll actually kill someone before you die yourself. But if you're aiming for one person, you're trying to get them on low health, the point of a kill is to have the last slice at them. So basically in a fight, you want to look for one person and keep attacking that same person no matter what everyone else does. Then you can get that kill. Then you can move on to a different target. This means there's a higher chance of you getting a kill in these fights. And if you just attack everyone, then you're not going to get a kill. You're just going to be damaging them, and then you're probably going to die. Now, one thing to remember when you're playing One in the Chamber is it's not about who's the last one surviving. It's about who has the most amount of kills. So you don't want to go hiding and camping waiting for someone to come towards you. That's going to be a waste of time, and lots of people are going to be dying. The more people there is, the higher chance of you getting a kill, because there's more people to kill. There's more people all around the area, spread all around, and it's going to be easier for you to get a kill. If you're at the ending of the game, and you've just waited and waited to the ending, that's not going to help you, because there's going to be less people and you're going to have to run around trying to find those people before you can actually kill someone. So the point is, you want to be out in the open getting ready to kill people, not just be waiting somewhere, waiting for someone to come towards you so you can easily kill them. I mean, you might get a few kills, few easy kills, but it's not going to be good enough to win the game or get as much as you could if you were out in the open and in those big fights. Alright guys, so those are my tips and tricks. If you have any questions or any things that you'd like to add to my list, you can just put them in the comments. So thanks for watching or listening, and I'll see you in the next video.